So I think what you're going to see is a different Liverpool team stylistically in terms of what they ask their defenders to do.
I think Frimpong's interesting, Beth, for many of the reasons Craig's espoused. He gives you two options to play a different way at right back. And I mean, having YouTubed the ass off him, he's incredible. He's a very, very good winger. He can go both sides. He's unbelievably quick, and he's got goals in, I think, 9 last season, 7 assists. He's got a few this season. He could cover 2 positions, but also get picked first choice. I quite like the idea that if you get someone like him and Bradley gets, as Craig suggests, gets over his injury issues, that you've got 3 for 2 positions, and that's excellent squad planning to my mind.
Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I think if you look at it, just sort of shoehorning Frimpong in to play exactly the same role that Trent has played for Liverpool, then maybe it's not going to quite work. We know he is more offensively minded, and I could really do without, as Abby said, them getting another right back who gets compilations made of the defending and criticised for not being able to defend. I think if he comes, he will be very much more of an attack-minded player. Trent has revolutionised really the way that we see the Liverpool right back position, and I think probably one of Klopp's biggest sort of failings, I guess, in his final season, final season, the season before when Liverpool only made the Europa League. I think he almost tried to pander to Trent a little bit in terms of putting him in midfield, and it worked on some occasions, that whole inverted thing, but I'm still not convinced that was something that Klopp tactically really was like, I'm super passionate about this. I think it was more of a
hedge.
Trent wants to be in midfield. We're not playing particularly well. Let's keep the player happy. And sometimes it worked, but I'd say overall Liverpool are better when they don't do that. And I don't think Slot is massively big on that whole inverted fullbacks thing. And I actually think that's why Trent defensively has been better this season, because at times, he's not going in and trying to spray all of these Hollywood passes all the time from sort of a number 6 position. So I think in some ways it might actually be quite nice to have a right back like Conor Bradley, who is a little bit more sort of he's not really an old-fashioned fullback, because he is still very, very good in an attacking sense. And I know when we talk about him, we always come back to that Chelsea game, and ultimately he's only played 23 times in the Premier League, and not all of those games
and
are
the Real
starts.
Madrid game where he puts Mbappe on his backside.
But in terms of a body of work, it's a bit of a risk, I guess, to hedge your bets on a player who has only played 23 times in the Premier League, who is a little bit prone to niggles at the moment. I absolutely think he's got all of the ingredients to be a long-term massive part of this team. I would hate for Liverpool to buy someone for the sake of it, in terms of just to replace Trent, if the manager felt that Bradley was the right player to do that. That said, I completely agree. I think Liverpool will need to sign a right back, whether it be a backup right back or whether it be someone like Frimpong who can compete more, who can be rotated in and out more, who can maybe sometimes venture bit further forward. So yeah, I do quite like the idea of Frimpong, especially if you do have someone like Joe Gomez, who is always around sort of as that utility player who can drop in and do a defensive shift there. I think, for Liverpool, it's just a massive summer, isn't it? It really, really is. And that's why if all 3 players, because as things stand, all 3 players are leaving this summer, if you have to replace all 3 of those players and do all of the other surgery that's needed on the squad, because Liverpool, if everyone was staying, Liverpool would still need to sign, I'd say, 3 players as a minimum to really improve. Then it's a big task to do this summer. I
think it's been interesting how much Slot has talked about pace recently, and obviously Frimpong's got that, Bradley's got that. Kirkes, who's been linked time and time again, you just feel like that's the one that's going to get done because it's sort of gone quiet. Like, he's got loads of pace, and so I think really you're going to see a completely different sort of defensive line in terms of what they offer, and hopefully they'll be able to offer different things against different opposition. I think with Bradley, Bradley has got everything that you sort of want from a fullback. And the most exciting thing I think from him has been that every time he's had to sort of go up a level, every time we've needed him to we've put him into a high pressure position like Real Madrid or the Chelsea game or the cup final or whatever, every single time he's not just got through it, he's flourished, and that's the most exciting thing. The thing that we're going to have to remember next season is he's going to make mistakes. Like, he's a young right back, and so there will be times he will get caught a bit like Trent, because what we're asking him to do is push forward. It'll be the same with if we sign Frimpong or whoever else we sign. These footballers, because there's a risk and reward element to everything they do in these full-back positions for Liverpool, getting forward, you know, they're going to make mistakes. And so we're going to have to sort of remember that. Everyone's so keen to say, oh, well, you know, Trent, we don't need Trent because we've got Bradley. Still a young Bradley, he's still a young player that's going to make mistakes. He's going to be brilliant, I think, for Liverpool. He's going to have a long career there. He's grown up a Liverpool fan. He's going to want to stay there, hopefully forever. But we're still sort of going to have and show some patience around these footballers.